podcast.
Go live.
Mm-hmm. 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 I'm just waiting for that screen to go from blank to actually showing something.
Exactly.
There we go. Hello and welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. This is episode 205 of That Beautiful Life podcast. My name is Caduce Campbell, sitting in the beautiful Red in United Kingdom, talking to the beautiful Roger Bergstrom all the way in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm speaking to where I am speaking right now because any moment now I'm gonna like cough and I'm trying not to. So
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, help. Just anybody help. Yeah, there we go.
Mm.
The band is back. Well, yeah, as you said, don't cough for many reasons. First off, unhealthy, since you're starting to feel a bit unhealthy. And maybe your eggs that you're eating are gonna color the screen, if that makes sense.
I'm more worried about getting on my keyboard, to be honest.
Okay, keyboard if you're looking down a bit, or
Yeah.
I remember when I'm talking about that, by the way. Hello, everyone. Hope you're fine, having a good start or midweek. No, we're getting to the end of the week. It's not Wednesday when we usually record. It's Thursday. Both me and Q were busy, you might say. So we talked and yeah, let's go Thursday. So here we are. I just wanted to fill in. I remember when I was sick and, you were sitting doing stuff and I just looked up and I instant sneezed kind of a thing. I couldn't just stop it, so I had to go and pick some paper because it was all over my monitor. It was so gross. I was like, oh, don't look at it. Yeah.
That grosses, man. I mean, the worst thing is I think for me, what I'm more worried about is if I cough, I've got food in my mouth, and it ends
Yeah.
up on my keyboard. I don't want that on my keyboard.
No, exactly. Because if those kind of things starts to go between the what is it called, the keyboard,
The keys.
thank you, the keys, then yeah, it can actually mess them up. If you have a mechanic keyboard especially, it's like careful, sir.
I do have a mechanical keyboard.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, so I'm having breakfast right now. I've had some toast, some scrambled eggs with avocados. So I'm getting my fair share of protein. If I keep looking to this side, keep in mind that my camera's in front of me today. Usually it's off to the side, but I'm so accustomed to looking on this screen to see to see Raj, because he's usually on the screen due to how I have my screen oriented. That I keep looking this way. And so that's just to let you guys know, if you see me looking off to that side, it's not that I'm looking away from the camera. It is because I'm looking at Raj. So
There you go.
so yeah,
Yes.
that's essentially it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've started coming down with something. My body, it's not like fully taken root yet, so my body's still like fighting it off at the beginning.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, you can tell when you've got a cough. You can tell when you've got the phlegm there and the scratching you and all that kind of stuff. But it's just not.
Yes.
I've just
It
not been taken by it yet.
it's usually a very unpleasant feeling, to be honest, because you know something is going on
Mm-hmm.
that shouldn't be there. Also, by the way, good morning, Miss ANR, the maker of the eggs, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, beautiful.
How did you know she made the eggs? How do you know I didn't secretly clone myself and my clone made the eggs?
Um, because when we had the pre-talk and prepared for the podcast, I guess she came in and delivered
Yeah, that could
when
have
it
been my
comes.
clone. That could have been.
That was not your clone, and
It could
I
have been.
know for sure because you guys talked about appreciation and getting the breakfast, and I don't think you would talk like that if you had a clone.
Why?
You were like, "Hey, bro, thanks. Hey, bro, no worries," and then that would be the clone talk with you between the two of you, and that wasn't the case. So it
Mm.
was definitely your missus. I am 100%. I am
One.
Sherlock Holmes, didn't you know? Or
100%.
Poirot. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm doing, as you know, my routines when it comes to breakfast is still the same. Oh my God, I am I'm a simple man when it comes to my breakfast. I
Mm-hmm.
still have my oatmeal, like oatmeal with milk and depending on the berries we might have that on top, and then like a bread of some sort with it could be ham or turkey breast or something on that, and
Mm-hmm.
then a boiled egg, and then a cup of tea. That's like standard for me. It just yeah, point on. You got it right. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's definitely yeah. I don't know. It's just I need that. I need that.
The
But I have
breakfast.
friends, for example, the guitarist in our band. We're getting to that too when we talk about the week. He doesn't eat breakfast. He's one of those guys. He take a glass of juice maybe, and then he goes to work, and then he eats earlier. He eats like an early lunch because he
Mm.
starts to work quite early. So it's like lunch at what could it be, 11
Mm-hmm.
a.m. I guess. So yeah, there you go.
Bad eating
I,
habits. Mm-mm.
yeah, I don't know. I could not I know how it feels
Mm-hmm.
when you haven't had breakfast, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing to have breakfast. I mean, if we should believe, I believe, I mean, but I think a lot of scientists or people that know how kind of dudes, they say also, yeah, it is good to eat breakfast. It's like, stabilizing blood sugar and blah blah blah. It gives you like energy for to start your day and things like that. But oh, granola with yogurt. Yeah, okay,
Excuse me.
yeah, that
Ugh.
I've heard also. Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
I think
light
it's
fasting.
essentially it's not really necessarily granola with yogurt I tend to have. It's more muesli with yogurt.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. We have muesli too. Annalie eats that
ah,
not all the time, but usually in the morning.
brilliant lady, absolutely brilliant. She knows good stuff.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
know,
do you know when I eat that?
when
That's before I go to. I eat that in the evening.
is that for gym?
No, it's like my the one. I think I've told you 1 hour before I go to bed. I usually eat something light.
So I
And
broke your habit when I was there because we ate something heavy when I was there.
oh, we did. What did we eat
We
then?
didn't have that kind of stuff. Remember, we cooked. I think the first night I came over, we cooked. You and I cooked in the kitchen, and we made like something that's like lunch in the afternoon time. Because I think I got there. Was it afternoon time? It was dark out, wasn't it? I remember we didn't have
Uh,
we never. I don't remember ever having yogurt in the afternoon with you. When
No,
I
maybe
was there.
not yogurt. I don't mean yogurt. What I do is I have like a bowl with a bit of milk and muesli,
I don't even remember doing
muesli
that. When I
together.
remember the breakfast, like one
Yeah, yeah,
hundred
sure.
percent remember having the um the the oatmeal with the milk, the jam, the egg.
Yeah,
We had that sort of like paste that you
yeah,
that,
yeah.
that you told me from your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I remember having that. I remember we had this sort of like cracker. It was like a biscuit bread thing that was flat
Yep.
I remember the I do not remember having any muesli at night. Not a single time.
Not anything before bedtime, like some kind of bread or something. You don't remember that?
I don't remember it.
Because I'm pretty sure I would be surprised if during your stay,
I'm sure we
I
ate
or
something, but I don't think it was that. That's the
no, no,
thing.
sure. I probably changed that. That is more up to, that can change.
Right.
That
Okay.
can change. The breakfast, not so much.
No, the breakfast was
So,
was on 100% on point. It was like, yeah, that's the breakfast of dreams. Yeah. And it
it's
was
like,
it was after that, after having breakfast with you, that's when I started having more often than not, I started having jam in my porridge more
oh yeah,
often.
look at that now. Mm-hmm.
So then at that point I was like, ooh, I need to have excuse me,
Mm.
some lingonberry jam, and I put that
Yeah, there we go.
in my stuff. So it's yeah.
I had raw lingonberries because Annalie, in the freezer, we still have some lingonberries left from the fall, well, she was out walking and picking some in the forest and stuff like that. Oh,
Hmm.
it's
Good stuff.
the good stuff.
Good stuff
Yeah,
indeed.
talking about fasting, it's interesting
Mhm,
though. I mentioned a member of the band the guys I played together with, the keyboardist. He
mhm.
he told me, I didn't know that he has periods. at least once, sometimes twice a year
Mhm.
when he's fasting, and it can be quite long time. He has been
Mm,
fasting for weeks, and things like that. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about myself. Sure,
mhm.
I guess the body adapts at some point, but I know how I feel when I miss a meal. If I
Yeah.
do, it's very seldom. I get, I become. It's like you've seen Gremlins, those cute little
Yeah.
and then if you spill, if they get in contact with water, they become these like small monsters. That's me if I don't eat. So not sure
You
how
know, that
that
was one
end.
of those shows I just did not want to watch growing up because I found that like the idea of the Gremlins terrifying as a kid.
Ah, okay.
Couldn't really stomach watching the Gremlins as a kid. You know, as I got older, I
Yeah.
honestly didn't care. But I think as a kid, it was just sort of like, meh, Gremlins are kind of scary. You know,
Yeah, right.
it's kind of like I think for most of the stuff that I found terrifying as a kid, I think if I watch them now, like it doesn't affect me at all. Like I can watch Chucky right now, nothing. As a kid, you couldn't get me to watch that shit. That was just the most horrifying thing. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have nightmares. I'm gonna be I'm not gonna want to go to sleep. I need the lights on. I need to check under my bed before bed. You know, like that was me. That was me
Okay, yeah.
as a kid. Um, Me as an adult, I need the lights off. I can't sleep with the light on. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know people who do that. I think people who sleep with the lights on are psychopaths. So
Maybe
I
aliens, I don't know.
maybe aliens.
Shapeshifters, I have no idea,
It
something like that.
could be. You know, shape shifting
Just saying.
aliens, shape shifting alien psychopaths is what they are.
Yeah,
Um,
what a mix.
uh,
Yeah,
uh,
oh, I just want to fill in though. No, you don't want to see that transformation, believe me. How is the saying? Uh, y- how does it say? You're not gonna like me when I'm angry. Isn't that something like that the Hulk is saying, or
That is the
David
Hulk.
Banner?
That's Hulk. That's Bruce Banner from the Hulk. You won't like me when I'm angry, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
And then he go Hulk smash. So
Exactly. Bam.
yeah,
Stuff like that.
I
Could
said,
happen also if I don't get like coffee for a full whole day. That's
mm,
a bit the same.
yeah.
Kind of a different thing. I don't know what kind of pictures should give you then, but never mind.
I could go without the
Well,
coffee. I can
yeah,
definitely go without the coffee. Because well, I've had to for a while now, so I'm accustomed to not having it.
yeah.
Um,
Then you're fine. But you
yeah,
know me, I'm a regular coffee drinker, so
I
I drink
know.
like 2 times a day. So for me, whew, oh, give me that caffeine. It's like,
Have any of your sons inherited that? Like, any of your sons like, man, I need my coffee, man. Like, I can't even start the day without coffee.
um, sorry, what was that question to me?
Oh, yeah, I was asking you, have any of your sons inherited that taste for the coffee? That's my thing.
Yes, Adam, Agent Adam.
Mm.
He's drinking coffee.
So if he
He
doesn't have his
started actually
coffee,
some years ago.
if he doesn't have his coffee, does he get grumpy at the office? He's like, oh,
No, I don't think so. At least not as grumpy as me, I
he's
believe.
like, don't even talk to me, right? Like,
Yeah.
just sit at your desk. I haven't had my coffee yet. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Stay on your side of the kitchen.
stay
Yeah.
on your side of the kitchen. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, you know.
Well,
He's had the coffee. He's pleasant. He's like, oh, how are you doing this morning?
yeah. Oh, you're here. Oh, I didn't see you at first.
I
Okay, how
I
are you?
didn't. Yeah.
Things like that.
How is it?
Really,
How are the kids and the cat? Oh, you just told me to go shove it. Oh, sorry. You
exactly.
know what it's like. No coffee in the morning. Yeah, exactly. I was actually talking to myself about shoving the coffee down my throat. Sorry about that. Didn't mean you. And it's all love.
Yeah. It's interesting. I see me saying, or yeah, talking about studies around coffee. There's been quite a few
Mhm.
through the years. They are not that bad, to be honest. There are benefits also of drinking coffee,
I think
as it is to
anything in
maybe have
moderation.
a glass of red wine once in a while. Just saying.
Hmm.
So, you know,
Or any
yeah,
wine. Any wine is good because I
yeah,
like drinking
yeah,
wine every now and then. And
exactly,
I think anything in moderation is fine. I think if you overdo it, then it's
yeah,
bad. So,
exactly.
like if you're drinking coffee every second of the day, you have a problem and you need to go get help. If
True.
you're drinking
True.
wine first thing in the morning, then you're probably me on a Wednesday and you're just chilling. Um, and that's nothing wrong with it because I'm having wine on a Wednesday, and such is life.
Such is life, exactly. Midweek treat, as we
Uh,
say. Uh,
which, to be quite frank, if ever I have wine early in the morning, it's because I'm having a crappy morning. Like, honestly speaking, there is something wrong with that. Like, like
yeah, exactly.
there is
Wait,
some,
so what's happening here? Yeah, exactly.
there's
But
absolutely something wrong with that. If I'm having wine first thing in the morning, I should be having breakfast.
mm,
Um, week wise, so
yes.
I have been coming down with a bit of a cough. That's one
Yeah.
thing.
When
Um,
did it start, by the way?
Honestly, I don't know. I think maybe about a couple days now. It's just been like phlegm, but I could feel like the phlegm there. Excuse me, or the irritation
Yeah.
that comes before the phlegm. I could feel that. I can feel that irritation coming in,
mm,
and but it wasn't too bad.
mm.
It was like a mild irritation, and it just built with time, bit by bit, until inevitably it got to the point where it's like, no, it's like an actual irritation, like where I am now coughing. So
Maybe you have to bring out your secret weapon that you're using, the thing the bottles you're what is it called now again?
all I've got is
You've told me.
these. I know you're talking about the African sea coconut. I don't even know if
Yeah.
I have any. I've been taking this right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, Fisherman's Friends. It's good. They are good. Quite
Yeah,
strong actually.
yeah. I
They
would,
kind of. I mean, they at least make it less scratchy, if that makes sense.
that's
So it's
exactly the reason.
yeah.
I'm hoping they will keep the
Yeah, cool that you're using them. Some yeah, it's very manly tablet pill thing. It's strong, and you can't be soft if you're gonna use those.
Sometimes I pop two in, My
Who? Oh,
yeah,
brother.
sometimes I pop
yeah,
two. My missus is the one who usually gets these, so she'll usually get like a set of it, just be there in the house, and I'll get
yeah.
one, and yeah, but sometimes I just pop two in, and like boop, boop, because I don't want it to like it. I know it's gonna melt inevitably, and I want the sensation to last longer, so I'll pop two in, boop, boop,
okay, yeah, right.
and
Uh,
I'll just or like if I'm going to bed and my throat irritates me and I want to actually fall asleep, just pop one in, leave it on my tongue, and fall asleep. You know, and
okay, well,
that
if
does
it
help.
works, it works. It's good.
It does.
Yeah.
It does help. It does help. But yeah, generally speaking, this week has been pretty normal, pretty average. I did some interviews this week, which was interesting.
oh,
Yeah, it was
oh,
pretty.
okay.
I think I did pretty good. You know,
I'm
I
sure you did. I'm sure you did.
I think I interview quite well, if I do say so myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not gonna go into any further details because that's some stuff I just wouldn't care to get into at this particular point in time.
Yeah.
But it went pretty well. I felt.
Mm.
Outside of that, just a general week, general usual things. I can't think of anything in particular that was eventful from this week when I think about it. I genuinely cannot think of anything too eventful from this week that
But that's sometimes how the weeks are. And
yeah,
sometimes that can also be nice. I mean, we talked about that before. When we say normal week, that doesn't mean normal doesn't mean boring. It means you're following
a
the
nice routine.
path of doing your shows, doing your stuff,
Oh right,
So,
I just
oh,
remember
cinema.
we
Oh,
did go to the cinema on the weekend. That
oh,
is
you
true.
did.
Yeah, we went and saw a movie that I
Mm.
didn't particularly I fell asleep. I'll be honest, like I fell asleep.
Oh, you did, bro.
Yeah, I
Oh,
fell asleep at one point, and Alex was saying to me, she's like, you didn't have to come if you didn't want to, I was like, "No, I'm awake, I'm fine, like uh
really struggling to, I'm awake. Oh, it sounds like me when I'm sitting in front of the TV and
oh,
Isaac is like giving me
it's
the elbow.
see, this is why it's good to have your missus in the chat, because then they
Yeah,
remind you.
there was,
Last
yeah.
night we were getting ready for bed, and our our we still haven't like sorted out our bedroom yet. So like we're still sleeping in two separate rooms. So like
Okay.
I'm still bunking in the office on that office bed there. And and she's in the living room. So she's going downstairs. She's like, "Oh, I'm off to I'm gonna go off for the night. I'm heading downstairs." Because she was in the bedroom finishing up work and I was in the office doing finishing up work myself.
Mm.
And she goes downstairs and I pull on my headphones and I'm, listening to something while I'm working and I can strangely hear a sound in the background. And I'm like, is someone calling me? I pull up the headphone. I look,
Oh,
I said, "Are you calling me?" I stick my head out, and I can hear like Alex talking to someone. So I walk down the stairs, and she's talking to someone through the door, and she's got keys in her hand. I'm like, "Why keys in your hand?" And she said, I could hear a voice coming from the other side of the door. I was like,
yeah.
and the person is like telling this story about why they're basically begging for money, and they're telling a story as to why it's after midnight, bro. It's like 1 in the morning or something like that. Like,
Oh,
who's knocking on people's doors at 1 in the morning,
yeah.
asking for money? And according to Alex, I think she said she heard like that letter flap thing that you push your letters through the letterbox. She
Yeah.
heard that make a noise, so she was like, I think the person was trying to shove their hand through the door.
Mhm.
Now the individual, we actually ran into that individual the exact same night we went to the cinema on the way back. And
Oh,
I instantly
okay.
recognized the voice. So when I came down,
Yeah.
I was just like, "Yeah, sorry, mate. We don't have anything. Please, yeah, leave." And
Hmm.
I don't think I said please leave. I just said, yeah, we don't really have anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, okay, cool," and he left. Right,
All
but
right.
I could see Alex was relieved. She's like, "Oh," she's like, it's good to have a husband around.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah, it was kind of weird. I inevitably went outside, checked, to make sure everything was okay. Because she was feeling a bit uncomfortable. I stayed downstairs for a little bit before I went back up, chatted with her a bit, and then I went upstairs. But yeah, people knocking
mm.
on your door at 1 a.m.
That's quite unusual, to be honest.
Quite.
If someone does that, or if someone was to do that here,
Hmm.
I do believe it would be like a neighbor and something was wrong.
Hmm.
Maybe a fire in the area or whatever, like that. I haven't really heard anyone saying that. I mean, we have sometimes people coming, as it is, knocking on the door, asking for something or want to sell something or, those
Hmm.
kind of things. But that's usually never later than like 7 p.m. or, whatever.
Yeah, it's a
So,
reasonable hour, and this
yeah.
guy's turning up after 1, and you're
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. I
that is
mean, you shouldn't do
so
that if it's not
weird.
an emergency. Like, at least I
Yeah, but
believe so. It's pretty
even if
weird.
it's an emergency, go to the police, mate. I'm not police. Don't come knocking on my
Yeah,
door
yeah,
at all.
sure, but
Because
but
I think.
let's say let's say there's an accident, literally, just
Oh, okay, yeah, I understand.
yeah,
I
that
understand. But this guy was begging for money, and
yeah,
he was telling a story about how he's supposed to get some money from somebody and blah blah blah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like, I don't know if because obviously he didn't know that he told us a similar story the night before, or a couple of nights before when we saw him on the weekend. So it was just sort of a thing. It was like the minute I heard him talking, I was like, it's the same guy, and
Yeah.
because at first my I also thought it was one of my brothers came over, because like my older brother, if he comes over to drop off something and he's going to the gym or something, so sometimes he doesn't want to like come in and have a chat. So like if it's something small enough that he can shove through the letterbox, he'll push it through the letterbox, and he'll just go on. So like if he has to drop off something minor, he'll just bloop, throw it to the letterbox and keep going, you know.
Okay.
Um, Unless of course
Wow.
if it's something that he needs to bring first physically and he's like not in a rush or anything, then yeah, he might go to the gym,
Mm.
pop some. But again, for him, usually it's usually in early hours. He's not going to gym like
Yes.
1 a.m.
Yes.
in the night. It's usually like at a reasonable clock hour, and he just thinks, I don't want to bother you, and I'm not. I'm gonna just pop something in the letterbox and I'll
Yeah.
head on home.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the end, that was weird. That happened last night, literally.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, it's a bit weird. I agree.
but yeah, generally speaking, that's been the gist of it.
Cool.
So, what about you, Raj? How's your week been?
Oh, it's been a good week. It's been a good week. I think I mentioned last time that the focus was on the upcoming concert. We were rehearsing, I think, the evening after, yeah, the same day, evening Wednesday last week when we record the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bit of our last rehearsal and just packed a few things. The good thing is when you play at some of these venues is that they have they have a setup of like speakers, of course, and for me, I only need to bring like my snare drum and some cymbals and stuff, so it's not really a big thing to do, if that makes sense. But anywho, so yeah, we had a concert on Saturday. It was the
Mm-hmm.
same place as we played last summer,
Mm-hmm.
uh, called Snow White.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's like it's a combo kind of pub restaurant, and then they have a music venue downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a small place, but pretty nice actually.
Mm.
And this was the premiere with our new singer, Thomas.
Okay.
Uh, Great guy and a really good singer.
Mm.
You will hear more of that later.
Should have
The
been me.
problem, though, the thing I have to say this,
Mm-hmm.
um, there is like you do a sound check, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are a bit old school. We are usually using like open monitors, just wedges on stage and things like that. Not really like in ear. To be honest with you, I wish I would have because when I played like other things before and some you might say more professional stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes used in ear
Mm-hmm.
because it's convenient. It's like you really cover your ear,
Yeah.
and you can also be more in charge of your mix, meaning what you actually hear when you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And in my case as a drummer, I usually want the bass to be quite there,
Yeah.
and then the other things for me can be like lower.
Mm-hmm.
We were struggling with the like sound on the stage, and
Mm-hmm.
it turned out later that I mean he's a great guy, don't get me wrong, he really tries to do a good job, but he's an amateur, and he didn't really see that someone after they have rented out the place like the day before,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they had been making changes, unfortunately for him. So he found out that later and kind of apologized, even though it was not like it was okay. But the thing is also there's a difference when people come into the place and it gets like full house, because it was crowded. It was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Then the sound changes a bit, like the frequencies.
Yeah.
So that can also, so for example, for our singer Thomas, he wasn't. I mean, he didn't really hear himself that well.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I enjoyed the gig. It went well. I had fun playing. We did a good performance once again.
Mm-hmm.
And now we can see that we start to have people that are coming, like when we're playing. That's nice
Mm-hmm.
to see some, recognized faces and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
However, during the gig, when I went on stage and we started to play, like 3, 4 songs in, I felt my ears like, oh shit, it's very loud on
Mm-hmm.
stage, like very loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to get this crackling sound, almost like distortion. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I started to get a bit like afraid. Oh shit, am I hurting my hearing?
Mm-hmm.
So after the gig, I mean, you can feel that your ears need to rest, like.
Yeah, definitely.
But there was more than that, because when I came home and I woke up early, I mean, we came home like 1 p.m. or some 1 a.m. Sorry, but it was like, I don't know. I woke up and I did not feel okay. Yeah, I felt, especially my right ear was a bit in pain, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh shit. So Sunday during the afternoon, I said to Anna, if this is not like going away, then I need to go and check my hearing.
Yeah.
Fortunately, during Monday, like noon and afternoon, I did get better. So now, sitting here at the late end of the week,
You feel fine.
I have recovered, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. But it comes down to, like yesterday, I went back. I used my car to bring back our stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and the bass player Gunnar and Janne, who is playing the keyboards, we just talked a bit, and I said I will look to the possibility to actually use in-ear from now on,
Yeah,
because I have in-ear. I have been using that before,
you just
and usually
didn't.
there's a system or a way to do that also, and you can if the engineer, the sound engineer, knows what he's doing, that's possible. Because I want to make sure, one, I don't hurt my ears,
Mm-hmm.
my hearing, and second, of course, also it's a possibility to get even better listening when you're playing.
Yeah.
So I will do that. And the next concert we will have with this band is going to be in the beginning of March. So
Oh wow,
that's
that's a little bit away. So you have enough time. You got time
yeah. Exactly.
to
But
prepare and everything.
I gotta tell you, bro, you
Mm-hmm.
know me, I was a professional musician for like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I have had moments before when I felt like, oh, this is not great for my hearing, my
Mm-hmm.
ears and everything. But not like this.
Yeah.
This was the first time when I actually got like scared.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get scared that easily.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much that scares me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a Viking. So, but this was a bit like, oh, what's happening? I don't want to. I don't want to get hurt when it comes to my ears. You know, I started to think, oh, what happens if I get bad hearing on my right ear, and I gonna sit here and do music and mix and things like, how do that affect my, things like that started to come to mind.
I think that's
So,
that, especially when it's something that you use so often. Like music is so important to you, and
mm,
you need your ears to listen to music or to create music.
yes,
I think it would be extra terrifying. It's like me losing my eyesight or something. I need it for seeing.
yeah,
Or what, or so like, because a lot of the stuff I do is visual based. So
yeah.
whenever, like, if I'm having a late night and I'm up on the computer for too long and stuff like that, my eyes start watering, so I start worrying, and
Mm,
oh, I should probably turn this off and go to sleep.
mm.
um so yeah, I understand the concern, but
Yeah, yeah.
it,
Luckily, it went well.
yeah, that's what I was
So
about to say. Luckily it's you've
yeah,
recovered, and at least you have a means to prevent it from
exactly. I felt very strongly that I need to think about this for the future.
yeah.
So there you go. So that's been my, I guess, the core of my week,
Oof.
obviously. And yeah, besides that, I'm doing my normal stuff, when it comes to YouTube, and I will talk about a game that I've been streaming that was gifted to me that turned out to be good. So
Ooh. I should say, thank you for your advice last week on YouTube. I published a video and it did pretty fine on YouTube.
oh, look at that now. Good,
Head over
good.
to my channel at LP Guardian on YouTube. That's guardian.eu. And you'll find a new video, which went up
Yeah,
last week.
I need to check that out. What did you do, may I ask?
I just published a video that I worked on for Marvel
Yeah,
Midnight
but
Sun.
aha,
It
okay,
was a
got it. Yeah.
review, and I published it, and
Mhm.
it got about 600 views. And considering the
Good
fact that I
start.
haven't published anything for months, I was quite happy with that.
Exactly.
So yeah, so it's up on the YouTube channel, and it has some engagement, and people have been commenting and some likes, and thanks to everyone who's checked it out. I really appreciate it, honestly. So it's encouraged me to work on something else. I'm already
Ah,
preparing for
good.
something new this week, so you guys
There you
can look
go.
forward to another video this week. So yeah, generally that's thanks to you, Raj, for giving me that extra push to say, hey,
Always.
you should
Mhm.
definitely put something out there. So yeah, generally speaking, let's start talking about some games, as we're already talking about games. And
Absolutely. I'm up for it.
the game I've been playing this week has been the game on the screen, which is Injustice 2.
Mhm.
Um Gods Among is it Gods Among Us, or something, or is it just Injustice 2 something? I don't know. I don't know the subtitle for this damn game. I know there's Injustice 2.
Yeah,
Um the point is that I've been playing Injustice 2 on my Steam Deck, and
it's
in
just called Injustice 2. Sorry, I believe that's the
it's
case.
just called Injustice 2, right?
If it's the game from, sorry, if it's the game from 2017,
Yeah, it
or
is. I
Yeah.
believe it's that same one.
Yeah.
So essentially, I started playing this game this week. Not because like any particular reason, but when I started
Mm.
playing it, I started to make mental comparisons to a game that came out recently because I wanted to work, like with my Steam Deck now. I've been testing all different types of games and I thought to myself, a great sort of like video idea would be like top 10 superhero games on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, that's a good
Um,
idea.
Turns out there are not a lot of good superhero games on the Steam Deck that I actually want to play.
Oops. Maybe
Uh,
5? Do 5 then? Or
yeah, that's literally where we came down to. It came down to five.
yeah.
So a lot of the games I'm not really keen on. Maybe other people find them good, but a lot of them I'm not really keen on, and a lot of them are series oriented. So like
Oh
Injustice
yeah.
One and Injustice Two are one series. So even if I like both games, I wouldn't put both in a countdown or like games like that. So like with the Arkham games,
Yeah, right.
it's a whole series. So even if you like Arkham
Yeah.
Knight and Arkham Asylum, those are two games in the same series. You might as well just say the Arkham series. So
True. True.
generally speaking, that is the what I've been working on. And I ended up installing a few of those games on my PC and started on my Steam Deck and started testing them out and capturing footage and all that kind of stuff. And
What other games are you
I can't say
like
the video's not done
not
yet, bro.
yeah, okay,
That'll be
sorry. Yeah,
spoilers
we're
for
not
the
gonna
video.
no
I
no
can tell
spoilers.
you
No
in
spoilers.
private, but the
Yeah, yeah,
video's
it's fine.
already.
It's good.
It's if I say that on the podcast, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, so that's what he's gonna put in the list."
Yeah. But
But I've
okay,
I've already.
Injustice 2 then. How do you feel about playing that? Because
So
I played that. I played it.
I like Injustice 2. I
Yeah,
think the
same.
only
I
issue
did
I
that too.
have with Injustice 2 is the whole leveling system, like how you collect stuff to like
Yeah.
add to your heroes and stuff like that. I think there's a loot box system built in. It's doesn't require you to spend money, but obviously you can see the incentive for you to spend money made into the system because it takes a
Yeah.
very long time for characters to level up and also to get these loot boxes it takes a lot as well to get the gems and whatever else that you need to thing.
That can
So that's kind of not the most ideal aspect of the game, but that being said, it's still a really good story and the gameplay is really top notch.
yeah.
And the sort of like outfit system where you level up your characters and you change outfits, that's also kind of deep in its own way.
Yeah.
But the reason why I wanted to talk about this as well is because there's a game that came out, a superhero game that came out this week, or I should say super villain game that came out this week, which is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah, right.
And all I've been hearing is negative news about this game. Now, granted, when this game was first announced, and I saw the first initial impression of it, I was like, oh, that seems like an interesting idea, very clean. But once
Yeah.
I saw the type of gameplay that it was, and they said it was games as a service, I was instantly out. Like the minute they mentioned games as
Yeah.
a service, I was like, yeah, this game's gonna be shit. My brain
Mhm.
just went, this game is gonna be caca poo poo head because and it's the same feeling I got when I saw Avengers, and people were getting all hyped about, oh my god, Avengers so cool. I was like, this is
Yeah.
not gonna stick. And exactly as I thought, Avengers did not stick. People did
Yeah.
it for a little bit, and eventually the studio had to close down. Right.
Mm.
And I genuinely believe it's gonna be a similar thing with this game. I'm 100%. Well, I wasn't 100%, but like let's say about 80% sure this game is gonna flop, and it's not gonna do the numbers that they're expecting, the sales, and the studio is gonna have to abandon it. You know.
Yeah. Okay, it's Rocksteady Studios, I see. Publishers, Warner Brothers Games.
Hmm.
And it's a full price game for sure, like $70.
It's even more than that.
Ouch.
Apparently, the deluxe edition or
Yeah,
whatever
that's 100
was
almost.
100, and it was one of the perks of it was that people were getting early access to the game, and apparently the early access didn't work. There were some errors in the early access,
Oh
so
no!
people paid
Imagine,
extra and couldn't play the game.
imagine paying $100 and then that doesn't work. Oh no!
You've got to be to be honest. Like I don't, and
Why would you? Yeah,
for me, I
well,
don't feel sorry when people do stuff like that because I'm like we live in modern gaming times, right? And these
exactly.
things have
Caution,
They've
caution.
happened before. They've happened. Like, when are
Yeah,
you
and
gonna
it will
learn,
happen
man?
again. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't feel
No,
sorry
it's
for them.
true. The whole, as yeah, we've talked about that before, like the
Mhm.
whole pre-ordering thing or
Yeah.
exclusive this, exclusive that. Wait, if you really don't have to be there at like premiere, meaning release date, then wait and see what happens.
Sometimes you get the game on
Like,
sale, like, because sometimes these games come
yeah,
out and literally
true.
a week after, if they're not doing well.
Or even later, maybe Game Pass, if Xbox Game Pass or something like that. Even some games, at least.
Some games end up in Game Pass. Some games you
Yeah,
get. I
I
got Marvel Avengers.
mm,
I did end up getting it.
yeah,
To use for like future videos or whatever I might want to work on.
yeah,
But I paid like £4 for it. It was significantly cheaper, and that was with all the DLC included and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
So I got the whole 9 yards for like £4. Now that game
Yeah,
was
look at
running 70
wow.
at launch, or 60 at launch, or
Mm.
whatever, and with the deluxe you're looking close to 100. I got it for £4.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and then when you
Okay.
look at games like, for example, Forspoken, when that game came out, I think no more than maybe about a week or two into its release, it was doing so poorly that the game significantly dropped in cost. You could
Yeah.
get Forspoken for like little to nothing. It was like
Mm.
more than half the price cut from it.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, for me, I think anyone
I
who
gotta
bought
see.
that
Yeah.
game, like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, that is not a reviewer, that is not a content creator in any way, shape, or form. I think you wasted your money. That's what I think. I think you wasted your
Yeah.
money, but at the same time, you're probably a grown adult, and you should know better. That's the way I put it. And alternatively, I would like to say that a better DC superhero game is Injustice God Among Us. The story in
Mm-hmm.
this game is great, and it's a
Yeah.
story where you have heroes getting killed.
Mm.
But I think this is a much better story, how it's written. I think the character designs are better in this one. The I think generally speaking, I think it's a better game. The gameplay loop
Yeah.
is better and all that kind of stuff. And
Mm.
I feel like with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I don't see that. Like, I look at the gameplay and I just think like this looks boring to me. Like, I can see where maybe you can have a moment of fun, but it's not gonna last. Like, you're gonna get bored quickly. And I think that's it with this game.
Yeah. I see. I just what's happening with me? Am I getting sick? I just need to drink some tea.
I've
Sorry.
infected you through
Mm-hmm.
the internet.
Mm.
What's going on,
Yeah, it's a
Nalu?
hi Nalu. Yeah, I was just reading a bit when it comes to the game. This not, I mean, it's not so many reviews to
Yeah.
find yet.
Oh, they
Um,
did actually. With regards to reviews, they didn't even give review codes for that for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It was, and once they deny giving review outlets review codes, it's because of the
yeah,
fact like we don't trust that they're gonna say nice things about our game, so let's just keep it to
yeah,
ourselves.
that's uh, yeah. I
But
think
yes,
that's
continue. You
a
were saying
loss.
you haven't seen any
No, it was
reviews.
just it's the positive sides is apparently it looks good, good graphics,
Hmm.
definitely better than some similar games. But on the con side, limited mission variety, and of course also this online only server means no playing if it's down.
Yeah.
So that's yeah, I totally understand. I am not sure either if this game's gonna do well. I don't I don't think so. But we just have to wait and see. Wait and see. Also, when it starts to fill up a bit more here on Steam, for example. Also, when it comes to uh, player reviews and things like that. So
Yeah,
well,
the,
well,
the
well.
the players are definitely going to go in. And to answer the question, Nalu, the game that I believe is better than Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is the game on the screen, which is Injustice 2. I believe it's a much better
Yeah, probably.
yeah, I think it's a much better
Uh,
DC superhero storyline
yeah.
where you have superheroes getting killed. I think the story,
Mm,
because the story in Injustice 2 is dark. Superman becomes a villain in that
yes.
story, and
Yeah.
they kill other heroes and
Mm,
villains, and all these other characters die in the storyline throughout
yep.
Injustice. But it's engaging. You are gripped by the story from beginning to end, and all that kind of stuff. And I think I don't think that's the same thing I've been hearing about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I've been hearing people say it's got some things, but it's not the best thing. I think some people were upset because the Arkham Batman was killed off the way he was in the
Yeah,
story. And
sure.
for me, generally speaking, I disagree in some regards. Like, but I can understand where some people are probably coming from. But in regards to
Mm,
me, I'm not that attached to Arkham Batman. So like, however he got killed off in the story, he's just a Batman getting killed off, and I'm fine with the Justice League getting killed off in a storyline.
mm.
Um, but at the same time, I think when you at one games of a service games usually are just terrible in general,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
two, I think when you build games with where the plot is not necessarily the driving force of your game, I think usually you run into um uh, you know problems as it goes along. And I
Mm.
think like one of the things in the story, which spoilers for people who actually plan to pick up this game and play it, um all of the Justice League heroes get killed in brutal ways, and all this sort of stuff, excluding one. One hero gets killed, but is killed in a ceremoniously sort of like nice way. And I say nice way in the sense like they're still a hero at the time when they die. They're still like saving people and doing the right thing and all that. All the rest of them, they've all turned bad guys. They've been taken
Yeah,
over
yeah.
by Brainiac. And the one hero who got the nice send off was Wonder Woman. Like,
Mm.
if you're telling me there's a superhero storyline where all of the Justice League get taken over by Brainiac, and one of them avoids getting controlled, br- if you ask anyone who knows the Justice League, everyone's gonna guess the same character. Who you guessing, Raj? Who do you think in the Justice League is not gonna get taken over if any of them isn't supposed to get? If one of them was supposed to get away, who would it be?
Batman.
Exactly, Batman. He's
Yeah,
the
of course.
he's the
Yes,
clever one. That's the one that everyone would guess. You think if anyone would be the
yeah,
one who would like, yeah, there's no way he's good. If anyone was to get it, like
yeah,
you
yeah,
you don't think of Wonder Woman as like, oh yeah, she's no Wonder Woman is she's out there trying to fight something.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You'd see Batman as the one. You think, oh, he's the one kind of like because
Yeah,
any
he's the Sherlock Holmes in the group, you know.
he
He's
is he's a
the
detective.
mastermind, he's the detective, he's the brain, he's the
Mm-hmm.
counterpart of Brainiac. I don't know, it's just no, that was I didn't think of anyone else. It was very easy to just yeah, I would think so. I would think Batman for sure.
That's exactly who I was thinking of. That's
Yeah,
exact. I
yeah,
think,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
think most people would probably say the same thing. They'd probably say, "Hey, if anyone in the Justice League, um, would survive something like that and still,
Mm,
be morally good, it would be Batman." And I think in the story, like especially like in the storyline with Injustice, you
yeah.
know, that's the storyline. Superman
Mm,
gets corrupted, Wonder Woman gets corrupted, a lot of other
yeah.
heroes get corrupted because of the storyline of Injustice, and Batman is the one who's still trying to be that good guy. Even though in the Injustice storyline, I'm with Superman. Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, yo, kill these villains. But generally speaking, I get that Batman is he's the one who's incorruptible. He's usually that's the
Yeah.
storyline of Batman. But I
But
think
as you said, I also want to fill in because it's interesting when we talk about this genre of games, you might say.
Mhm,
I think especially if it's a game that is so focused also on the actual versus part,
mhm,
uh, especially as I see now they mention Mortal Kombat. I mean,
mhm.
you can feel or think that some of those stories are a bit like thin or vague or whatever have you, because I mean the main there is the actual gameplay and the versus aspect, even
Mhm,
PvP, to be
mhm,
honest. But at the same time, it's how do you say, it's so epic, and the whole franchise and the characters,
mhm,
that it kind of works, they
mhm,
get it together really well.
mhm,
And I think that was my experience too. I got a bit surprised when I played in Injustice 2. I think I even
mhm,
streamed it
mhm.
uh, years ago. And I nowadays I very seldom play these kind of games, but I
Mhm,
enjoyed it. And I remember that I was like engaged actually in, wanted to play more for the
yeah.
storyline. So that kind of, well, surprised me. I'm not sure if it surprised me, but it was a bit like that. I was like, wow, look at that now. So so with that said,
Mm-hmm.
it is doable, and of course I agree with you with what you said. If you're able to do that,
Mm-hmm.
in addition to the great, like we talk about the, not the gunplay here, but the fight, the controls and the actual gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
then you have a win situation.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I am not sure they will pull that off with the Suicide Squad game, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But
Honestly,
we'll see.
and I think for me as well, I like, some people say, "Oh, you know what? I don't think they're gonna be successful, but I wish them the best of luck." I don't wish them the best of luck with this game because, and the reason I say that is because, I not to be mean spirited. I'm not
No,
saying that
no,
out of mean spirit. I'm saying that because I don't want to see more games like this. Like
no.
I
Yeah,
figured, like
yeah,
with Avengers failing, good. It means that
yeah.
Marvel Studios and stuff like that, studios making Marvel games would think twice before making a game like that again. They'd be like, yeah, that's probably not going to sell well. Let's not make a live service Avengers game again.
I agree with you. I totally understand what you mean, and I
Mm-hmm.
hope that goes also. That's another topic in a way,
Mm-hmm.
but really, also hope that goes for the movie part as well.
Yes, I hope they, with regards to how
Oh,
they're doing
it's been
with
so
it,
much like poopy poop, and oh, come on, it's not
it's
only yeah.
it's bad. It's bad. Like, you go see a Marvel movie, and like, honestly, these days I don't even look at their stuff. Like, I just I genuinely sometimes check the reviews, and just like Echo came out, and
Mm,
all I've heard from Echo is bad stuff. I've not heard anyone like,
yeah,
"Oh my god, you gotta see Echo is so good, Q. You gotta see this Echo stuff."
yeah.
Oh my god.
Mm,
Whereas like there
hell,
are some films or
uh,
some series that come on and people are like, "Holy shit, bro, you gotta see this." Like
yeah, for
that
sure.
stuff is like,
There are exceptions definitely, and
yeah,
I mean, you and I, you watched the newest Batman movie, for example,
yeah.
with Patterson, and I really like that as well.
It was
And
brilliant. It was
yeah,
brilliant. It's the kind of
so
movie you want to recommend to people.
yes, there's hope. There's
Hmm.
hope for sure.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, we should move on, I guess.
We definitely should. Someone's coming
I
in my
gonna talk
office.
about.
Ooh,
Uh,
from the missus.
oh, look at that! What's
Um,
happening? Oh, is
help with,
it tea time?
yeah, it
Yeah,
is tea time actually, because
good for you. Yeah,
that's
you
gonna
need
help with this
something warm.
cough that I've got
Yep.
here. So yeah, so generally speaking, the game I've been playing on my Steam Deck this week, one of the games at least I should say, because as I say, I'm testing out a few games on it. I recently upgraded my like my drive in it. Like I got a drive like ages ago, and it's just been sitting in my office, and I did the upgrade just like a couple nights ago, and I've just been testing out stuff on it to sort of like see how it performs. And yeah, one of the games that I've been playing a bit on there is Injustice 2, and I think it's a really good game, especially now you can get like the Ultimate Edition, which would include all the DLC and stuff for like quite cheap,
Yeah.
So I would say, instead of spending 100 quid on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I think you can get maybe about three good superhero games on Steam for that
Yeah,
price.
yeah, most likely.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I
So
think when I played Injustice 2, as said a few years ago, I'm pretty sure I was on Xbox Game Pass and I played it
mhm.
there.
It is. I think it's still on the Xbox Game Pass, to be
Oh,
honest.
it's still there.
I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
so. It may
Yeah.
still be on there. Also, I would say, look out for a video from me about this. Like, I'm gonna get that video done, which would be top five superhero games that you should be playing instead of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
options. There's
there
options.
are options. The caveat being, I'm looking for ones on the Steam Deck. So
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm gonna recommend Steam Deck ones because I'm enjoying my Steam Deck as well. So so yes, top five superhero games you should be playing instead of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Good.
I'm gonna start. I've already started scripting the video, so it's just to like write up the script, which I will do today. I will get
Good.
that script done today, and that will be done. And then I will do editing probably tomorrow or something, or this afternoon, depends how I feel. But
Yeah.
anywho's it. That's my gaming for the week. Rog, taking a lot of time in the gaming. What have you been gaming?
Yes, it was a long gaming session talk, but I would be a bit brief since time is flying.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different genre now.
Mm-hmm.
You know me. I think I mostly play FPS games, but also once in a while I get into the horror genre, like
Mm.
spooky. And I've been gifted a game by a follower of mine that has been gifted me quite some games through the years,
Mm-hmm.
and it's most of the time horror games.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a game I didn't know much about, and this was this ideal situation because
Mm-hmm.
before the stream on Tuesday evening, as said, I didn't know anything about the game, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch any gameplay. I didn't check any trailers. I knew nothing,
Mm-hmm.
which is great when you're gonna stream a game like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the game I'm talking about is available on Steam. It's called Madison. And
Madison. Mm-hmm.
yes, Madison. It was
Mm-hmm.
released during the summer of 2022. So it's been out for some time.
Mm-hmm.
It has very positive reviews. And
Mm-hmm.
after my first stream of the game, I start to understand why. Because this is a good horror game. It's a psychological horror game,
Mm-hmm.
kind of an immersive experience, you might say, and terrifying for sure. It
Mm-hmm.
has moments where you definitely get scared.
Mm-hmm.
It's I have played similar games.
Mm-hmm.
I played quite a few horror game titles nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
and I of course recognize certain things. For example, you have a camera here, even
Mm-hmm.
though this is an instant camera. I kind of like that, like the Polaroid camera,
Yeah.
old style.
Mm-hmm.
So you take a pic uh, on something, and sometimes there might be a lead, like a kind of a hint, that is hidden. So you shake the pic, like you get this Insta photo, and you see, oh, look at that! Now there's something written on the wall, and
Mm-hmm.
things like that that can lead you further into the story and what's going on, and of course also maybe make you or give you the what you need to in order to solve a puzzle, you
Mm-hmm.
might say, but also explore. And it's an unhealthy, of course, storyline behind this.
Mm-hmm.
You're in this house, and there has been people dying there like a murder. You are playing as a quite young man, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Luca, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as said, the build up is good. The start, everything. I played like plus 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it delivers well. It costs around $35 on Madison. I think that's a pretty good. Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
I don't.
Because
I
yeah,
think
I do actually, because it's a good game. I
that's not
would
the
I would
reason.
say I would, please, can I go on?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it would be better off if they put it around 25 or tops 30. That I can say.
Mm-hmm.
I think 25 would be a even better price. But again, I played many of these games, and this is a bit like above some of
Mm-hmm.
those. So I kind of get that. The question, though, I haven't really checked. Again, as I said, I don't know so much more about the game than my actual experience of the game, which
Mm-hmm.
means that I don't know how long the storyline is.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they aren't like super long, which kind of makes sense when you're playing a game like this. It's a good-looking game too, and yeah, again, positive reviews on Steam. I'm looking forward to the next session. I want to know how this will continue, and of course also later down the line end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Madison for you. Now, yeah, please fill in when it comes
Oh,
to your thoughts. Yeah,
what I was adding on with regards to the price as you were talking
yeah.
about it was that at 30 for a game like this, because this is an indie, yeah, by a studio called
Bloodious,
Bloodious
Bloodious
Games.
games. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think the thing is that it's even if it's a good game, which I don't doubt that it is, it's very positive on Steam. You've already said that you fancy it and everything like that. I think it's less likely to sell as well. I think if they took a bit of the price, even though that it would sell for less, it would get more sales and they'll probably make more money. Also, more people are more likely to try it at a lower price point, because they don't know about it. Like you sell for example, a Resident Evil game at a high price point and people pay for it because they know Resident Evil. If you're scrolling through Steam and you've never seen or heard of this game before, what are the odds that you pick it up and play it if you've never heard of it? especially at that price point, at a 30 plus price point. I don't see people actually picking it up, and I think that's the only thing I would say about this that I would disagree in when is the price. I think the price should be cheaper. I think you drop the price down, and especially this seems to be excuse me, this seems to be their first game. Let me see if I'm correct. This is their only game on Steam. I mean, if this is your
Yeah,
first and only
but they've been
game,
doing well. They have been doing well.
mhm,
1.9 million gross revenue.
I think you could do better. No, I
Yeah, but
understand
come
doing
on,
well.
it's in because there you have the pricing is always the thing, and I agree with you. As said,
Hmm.
I think they should have had a. It's been like it says average price during the last 6 months 33.26, like a
Hmm.
5% discount, you might say. And you might be right, but the game at the same time, even there's a breaking point, right? When you have a
Hmm.
lower price, and you might sell a few more copies, but then you get less money, right? Instead
Yeah.
of having a price that is a bit higher, maybe sell a few less copies, but you do more money as a whole,
Hmm.
like from a business perspective.
I think
Yeah,
I, th- I think I
maybe
think the
so.
thing is as well, if you're a developer who plans to make future games, you want
Yeah,
more people playing your game. So if
yes,
even though
over
you
71,000 units sold. That's not bad
71,000 is
either.
not bad, but imagine if
Yeah.
you could do double that. Like, say, take for example, like someone like me.
Yeah, you can always say that. I
If
mean,
if I was to pick up a horror game and I was like, oh, let me just find like top 5 indie horror games on Steam, I wouldn't buy this one. And the reason being is it's just because of the price. It's just because of the price. Like if without you telling me that it's good, and if I'm just like picking up a couple of games, I'm like, oh, let me just grab a few horror games for whatever reason. And I
yeah.
look at the price, I'm gonna be like, ooh, 30 quid for a game that I'm not sure about. Yeah, I'll take a pass on that for now. So,
Maybe, but on the other hand, I mean, if we're talking indie games overall, it doesn't really matter what kind of genre we're talking about.
mhm, yeah, same.
You don't really. I mean, sure, I check like the Steam page and everything,
Mhm,
but for me, if I'm gonna decide to play a game, it's a recommendation. Like
mhm,
98% of the time,
true.
it's a recommendation. It's like Adam saying, "Hey, check out this game," and I know it's most likely gonna be good because we have kind of the same taste.
Mhm,
If we're talking, for example, an FPS game, or other people that I listen to, like Sandro, for example, that has gifted
mhm,
me the game,
mhm,
I know that usually he. So I'm just saying that in
mhm.
in in the indie world, gaming kind of society or community, usually the word spread
Yeah,
is what makes the game sell,
yeah,
because they don't have the means either to like, if you compare it to AAA title, to actually do the marketing and everything. You know how it is.
yeah. I know, I know.
So with that said, if it gets good sayings, like the word is spread,
Mhm,
I think people will buy it. Of course, there's always a breaking point,
mhm.
and maybe as you hinted, or as you were saying clearly, even it maybe would have been better. Like, as I say, I agree upon that, but at the same time, now after I played it, well, apparently I was gifted the games. I haven't paid for it, but I can feel that, yes, this is. I mean, I played other games
Mhm.
priced around the same tag, and it's not as good as this. So I don't know. It's just. But again, we need to move on, and I just want to
Definitely.
say though that it is a good horror game. It's
Mhm,
not that easy to make good horror games.
mhm,
It's very easy that you fall into a trap of, the jump scare thing and everything like that, and only that.
mhm,
But this game, so far at least, has, it gives, yeah, it is immersive,
mhm.
and it gives you this atmosphere that you need if you're gonna play a game like this, which is uh, a bit uncomfortable, if that makes sense. If you choose to do that, then that's what I want to feel.
It's won a lot of awards as well. The game.
Oh, Ocean Guardian, hi, how are you?
Oh, hey,
Sorry.
Ocean, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Also like with regards to performance, it runs on pretty much everything. So if you do plan on picking it up, run this on I'd recommended settings on a Ryzen 5 or an i5 with a GTX 1060 or an RX 480. It's got a like 15 language supports. I'm not gonna go through the list as I usually would. And it's Steam Deck verified. So generally speaking, not bad. So that's Madison by Bloodius Games or Bloodius
Be
Games.
funny name of the studio and developer, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Suitable though, suitable for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Bloodius Games, if ever you see this podcast, I'm sure your game is brilliant. Drop it down to if you get it down to like 20 quid, yeah, I think that's the sweet spot there. You get my vote.
But you're not going to play it either way, so
I wouldn't, but I would buy someone a copy at that price point. Like
Okay.
I would actually be keen to like, oh, you know what? I want to support this game. I'll get someone a copy. I'm not gonna play it because I'm not into the horror genre.
Exactly. I know. All
So
right,
yeah,
let's go, bro. We need to talk about
let's
we're
talk
already
about some
full hour.
Tele.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do two quickly, back to back. So, The Boy and the Heron, watch that in the theaters. That's the film that I fell asleep in. It's a 7.6 on IMDb. I give it a 6.0. Didn't really fancy it. Wasn't really my cup of the tea. The one I actually want to talk about a bit more is a show called Not Dead Yet on Disney Plus.
Okay.
So came out in 2023, so it's new. It is a comedy, sort of like I want to say comedy drama kind of thing,
Hmm.
kind of not really not too thick on the drama, more on the comedy thing. For people who've seen shows like, for example, Superstore and those sort of stuff, this is in the same sort of ballpark as those. Very similar sort of like concept and all that kind of stuff. It's a 7.0 on IMDb. I give it a 9. This is my new favorite show right now.
Oh,
Not
cool.
Dead Yet. It actually stars from Superstore, um, the actress Lauren Ash, who played my favorite character in Superstore. And she's in this as a character called Lexi. She's like the boss lady. In Superstore, she was like the second in command, sort of like security lady. Who's she's always like getting at people and stuff like that. But this is a whole different ballpark. Yeah, it's about this woman who she leaves home and goes to England for this man that she loved, and it didn't work out. And he broke up with her, and she came back home. And before she left, she was going for this big job. She had gotten this big job that she really wanted, and she chose not to accept it to follow the romance. Didn't work out, and now she's coming back. Trying to see if she can put back her life together. And the story picks up. It starts literally with her coming back and trying to put her life back together and so forth.
Aha. Okay. Yeah.
And it's comical, in a sense of like she doesn't get the job that she wants. She has to write all these articles about dead people. I think they call them, it's an O word.
Aha.
I
Okay.
remember the articles you find in the papers about people who passed away. Um,
Ah.
I
Okay.
think it's
Yeah. Yeah.
obituaries or something like that. I think they call them.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, she's got to do those, and she doesn't like that. But since she started doing that, she can see dead people, and
Okay.
these dead
I
people,
see dead people. Okay. Start to think
so
about a certain movie.
something like that, but in a nice way. Like the dead people aren't scary. They're all nice to her. They come and they talk to her, and they give her advice. And in a sense, it's less like it's more that they need to help her than she needs to help them per se,
Yeah.
because
Right.
they've passed on and they will give her life advice. Because she's trying to put her life back together. And once she's finished writing their obituary, they disappear. And as soon
Mm-hmm.
as she has
Okay.
a new person to write about, they turn up. So as soon as her head of her department gives her a new person, that person just pops up wherever she happens to be.
Okay.
So it's hilarious. It's funny. It's got a good cast. I like it. I think it's brilliant. So it's a 9 for me. It's a 7.1 on IMDb. I'll give it a 9. I think it's up there, capable of being a 10, but I haven't finished the season yet, so I don't know if I'm gonna hate it halfway through. But at the moment, it's a 9.
Cool.
Mhm.
Nice. See, wait, season 2 premiere February 7.
Yes,
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming soon.
I have to say that one thing that for me is that, with a lot of series these days, is that they start strong and then the second season, it's just I'm not looking for the second season. I just want the first season to end well. And if the second season starts and it's not too good, I could always give up and say, well, the series ended at season 1.
Yeah. Always have that option for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So, what about you, Raj? What have you been watching?
I've been watching a few things as usual, but I wanted to mention something that I think you would appreciate too.
Mm-hmm.
Being well, not as old as me, but a bit older still. Maybe you guys remember a hit that is called, and it was for a purpose as well back in the days. We are the world, we are the children. You know that song, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw on Netflix that they have a documentary about that actual recording session. And that
Really?
night, I had no idea that they recorded this the same evening or night as the American Music Award. And one of the superstars or you can say that was behind this was Harry Belafonte, because he was very engaged, traveling. I mean, before he became a singer, also he was like almost a politician. He was really engaged in the society and everything. And he also made travels to Africa, and I mean, he saw the whole thing with people starving and this and that. And this idea came up. You remember they did this in the Bob Geldof thing when it comes to UK, and that other song that people, also for a good cause. And so that was in the mind of him and some other guys and Harry. And I think, long story short, not going to spoil the whole thing, but Lionel Richie, all night long, he got engaged as well. And the funny thing is that Lionel Richie was at the peak of his career here. And he was the host. He was hosting, the host at the American Music Award. I think he got 6 prizes that evening. He was performing, and he was one of the guys that was together with Quincy Jones and Harry Belafonte, in a way, the ones that put this together, because the producers, everyone started to realize, if we're gonna make a project like this and make a song like this for this purpose and get an impact doing so, how are we gonna assemble all these singers that we want to participate? Yeah, we have to do it at this very night and evening when they are assembled at this music award, right? Yes, and I didn't know that. So they literally went secretly, more or less, after the awards to this studio to record the song. And so the documentary shows what happened, of course, before this magic night. It was in January 1985. And what happened when they were there, of course, Michael Jackson and so on, and young Bruce Springsteen, Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, Huey Lewis. Well, the list goes on. And I thought it was great. It was really fun to see that, also due to the fact that, imagine when you put all these superstars in one room, right? It's how you gonna get them to work together well, and how to keep because the clock is ticking. They had not too much time. And because you can also see that they started to realize the seriousness in this, because Bob Geldof was there too, just to give a small motivational speak to them. I did that song, this project, and I hope you're going to feel for this one, because he gave them some stats from his journeys. People are suffering here, and that, blah, blah. If we get this, we can provide with that. And, motivation, right? And so they start to feel the seriousness of the whole thing, the project. Because before that, they have only got cassettes. Remember, cassettes being sent to them with the score, to learn their part, if they had a solo part. Because there were a few of them doing also the solo lines, right, in the song. And they were all standing there. And then if you watch the documentary, you can see that the expressions of some of the artists is oh God, I'm standing here with here's Michael Jackson, that's Stevie Wonder, and I'm gonna sing a solo part in a few minutes.
Yeah.
It's super cool. I really Cyndi Lauper, etc. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if you are interested in music and if you can relate to this, and of course also the song itself,
Mm-hmm.
and that era of time, maybe even check out The Greatest Night in Pop on Netflix.
Ooh.
It has an 8.3 on IMDb, and it's easy. It could be a 9 from me because it's real. It's
Mm-hmm.
real, and it's very like uh, touch of humans, doing this together, and it's like yeah, amazing night in so many ways. And holy shit, I think especially Lionel Richie must have been sleeping for weeks. I think they went home like 5 a.m. in the morning the day after because when they were finished. Yeah, I don't know. It
Mm-hmm.
was like so highly recommended. Yeah, that's what
Uh,
I've been doing.
that looks amazing. I am adding that to the watch list. This just seems like such um an
It's
interesting
feel good. It's a
piece
feel
of
good thing.
history, you know.
Yes,
Yeah, I think that's the thing too as well. Like every now and then, Netflix drops a bomb on us, like a really good thing, like because I think you hear a lot of about the stuff that is not so good on Netflix, but
yeah,
or maybe it's just saturated with too many things.
true.
And then you get something like this, like I like it's just this is just amazing,
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Both me and Annalie watched it.
mhm,
And fun fact too. When I got to the rehearsal studio yesterday, bringing the instruments we had for the gig on Saturday,
mhm.
and we sat down and talked, me and Janne and Gunnar. Then Janne said, "Well, oh, you watched that? I did the same with my wife yesterday." I was like, "Timing, timing."
Musicians, man, you guys think alike. That's the thing.
Yes, yes, yes.
That
Beautiful
is
stuff.
amazing. That is it's
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look at this. This looks amazing. This looks like a good watch.
yeah.
Uh,
Do that. It's a good one. Yeah,
that's the thing,
beautiful.
classic, classic, classic,
Yes,
classic.
classic for sure.
So yeah, amazing. You
Yeah.
like again, like my brain was not thinking there. Like when I saw the greatest nights in pop, when I wrote it into the show notes last night, I wasn't thinking that. I was just thinking, oh, it's some movie about something. That's
Yes.
what
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't. It didn't even cross my mind that it could be something like this. Now that you like got into it, I'm like, ooh, actually kind of nice. So
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Check
my
it out.
my Netflix account will be used at some point soon to partake in this splendiferousness.
Sounds like a good
Um,
thing.
I think we've got a show there.
Yes.
Ladies and gentle ladies, or gentlemen.
Yes. All the
Um,
beautiful people out there. Yeah,
Lads
we
and
have. We have.
ladettes.
And
Yeah,
my body's craving coffee, so I think we.
yeah. I need to stop talking so that my truth can rest as
Yeah.
well.
Eating
Um,
through like the getting. Yeah. Do you need more fisherman friends?
I've
Most
actually just
likely.
popped one in just a moment
Yeah.
ago, so I've got one in right now that's just like nicely, soothing my throat in a nice way. But anyway, thank you for everyone who turned up today for the podcast. You know, shout out to Ocean. I haven't seen Ocean in a minute, so
Same,
shout out to
same. Nice
Ocean in the chat.
to see you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope you're fine. And as I wrote there, congrats to your new job. We have been talking jobs since we had a similar experience working
Yes.
also at an airport and everything. So that was good to hear. Good to hear.
Good to hear indeed.
But with that said, bro, I think I just wanted to say saying as usual that have a good week, take care, stay healthy, and hope you got some good tips when it comes to something to watch, something good to watch.
Mhm.
Maybe also when it comes to gaming, of course, if you are a gamer. I know some of you guys definitely are. Most of you that are listening to this or watching. So with that said, take care. I'm gonna go and do my coffee now, and the day has to continue. But with that said, muffins and muffining out, not plural, muffining out. It's a particular muffin. Yeah, there we go.
Mm, beautiful as always. So with that, guys, thank you very much for listening to this episode of That Beautiful Life Podcast. Shout out to everyone in the chat who popped in today. The regulars, like the Misses and Nalu, and of course Ocean popping in today as well. Those of you popping and watch the live. Those of you who are in the live but are silent, that we're not sure who's here, who's not here, but you're here, and we
Yeah.
appreciate that. And then those of you who watch in post, appreciate you guys as well. Drop a comment, let us know that you guys are there. We appreciate you guys as well. So with that, thank you very much for everyone who's enjoyed the podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure to like and share it, and leave us a comment so we know that you enjoyed it. If you don't enjoy it, leave us a comment. Let us know what you didn't enjoy or what you would like to see more of or less of. So with that, guys, as always, you can find Roger 40 Splish Splash. That's number 40 SPLSH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday. That's correct?
Correcto.
Perfect. You can find me at LB Garden. This Garden's out to you, pretty much everywhere else. As I said, there's a new video up on the YouTube channel, LB Garden. And you can find another one coming, which will be a list of superhero games you should be playing instead of Suicide Squad. So look out for that as well. I'll be scripting that today. So as always, we wouldn't like you guys to miss out on any of the episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like to subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Spotify, iTunes, Simply Binge, YouTube.com, and elsewhere. And with the company you're gonna like it, that we're giving it for free. So as always, guys, this has been Cued. Your pleasure. And it's a wrap. That is the episode.
Oh, Joyce.
Whew. I am free. You stretch my legs.
Free, set them free.
Actually,
that's also a song.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know that song, actually. I don't know that one. That's one I am not familiar with.
I think, it's an old Police or Sting. At least, no, it's Sting alone. Yeah.
Maybe if I hear it with the beats and everything, maybe I'll recognize it. Like
when you need somebody, they'll set them free. Da-da-dee.
Maybe it's amazing how you get into the tone and everything, and you've got the beat going and all that kind of stuff.
The good stuff.
Oh, love it. Love it. Brilliant.
The music